welcome back to the channel. Diego237 with you guys, coming at you today with with Kaldvann 2.0, episode number 6 of this Let's Build series. We're back here today, trying to get, not trying, but we're just, we're getting more work done. We're gonna get some more work done here in Kaldvann. Figured it's been a little bit, looking back at it. I think the last stream was probably about a month ago, so trying to get another stream out. Was planning to do a stream this past weekend, but we had an ice storm up here. Had a wicked ice storm up here, so we lost power for about 36 hours. Was awesome, but I figured, I don't really know what I showed you in the last stream, but we're just going to cover all the things I've done, because I know there are a bunch of things that I haven't covered. I've been making some progress in getting Kaldvann kind of back to where it was and beyond that. At some point soon, I'm about to sit down and actually start doing some terraforming on this island and getting this island kind of figured out, particularly with those mountains back there, because I would like them to look beautiful. But I guess first steps first is let's go ahead and look at all the things we've done. So not too much work has occurred over here in Trondheim. Trondheim still kind of looks relatively the same. I haven't really done a whole hell of a lot. Maybe this port area is a little new for you guys, but other than that, nothing really major has gone on here in Trondheim. I've kind of hit a bump in the road, or I'm also having a stroke with my words again, per usual. I've hit a bump in the road here with building in Trondheim, so I'm kind of taking a step back and said, you know what, I'm not really feeling this city right now. I'm not really feeling building here. So I went ahead and did a couple of big things. First things first is we're going to zoom all the way out. We're going to zoom all the way out. We're going to start over here in kind of the far eastern side of the island nation. And we're going to let the Brunswick colony load in, which is a dam of northern, or like most of Cumberland County from Portland, which Portland down here at this bottom left corner, that is the Route 1 connector from Portland to Falmouth, that little point down there. I forget what it is, or what that point's called, but that's where Falmouth starts. It stretches from Falmouth all the way up to I want to say we're almost in a Thomaston by the time we get up to here. So it's quite a good stretch. Like, we are in, Portland, which is, it's kind of southern Maine still at this point, all the way up, beyond pretty much into the mid-coast. So, but there's this large section of Dem that didn't have any textures, and you see it up here and around, which I kind of wish it did. I wish there was textures for this. It would make my life a hell of a lot easier. But the big thing is this is the Atlantic Ocean, the Casco Bay down here. I knew there was a bunch of islands out here that I wanted to locate and see if they were here, so I went ahead and filled in the ocean in all the areas where the Dem didn't exist, or with no textures, so I could see, what parts of Maine am I at, how far do I get, what do I get, and so on and so forth. So, because I wanted to know exactly what I was getting. So pretty happy with that. I also did start laying the rail lines here for where they actually exist, because I was looking at it here and I'm like, where am I going to make these rail lines go? I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to follow what actually exists, because that infrastructure is very nice. I do want that infrastructure. So we went ahead and just laid the lines down. I went as far as Cook's Corner here in Brunswick, which I'm fairly familiar with. Then followed the main line back towards Freeport, which Freeport sits here. And then following it down through Yarmouth and into Cumberland, where it does also meet up with the St. Lawrence and Atlantic Railway. So that's something I did over here. Moving back towards the Nordic side of the island, I did start working down here in Hasvik. Now, Hasvik is going to be a lot more than you guys remember, because actually the town exists. I actually went ahead and plopped back in the town of Hasvik. Night Opes. Oh, you're a cat. It's a man. So I actually have the town here. Haven't quite started detailing yet. There's still houses that I have to place and such. Um, and getting things like the port rebuilt back up and so on and so forth. But the town of Hasvik is back, and it's a little bit bigger, I think, than last time. There's a few more houses here, especially in kind of what is the center of town, more or less. They did get things, like did place in some road markings and street signs. They got 2 sets of traffic lights now, so it's a 2 traffic light town, which is, means they're moving up in the world. They got a gas station now. They got a primary school, an apartment complex. So, like, I did put a little bit of thought into this area and kind of start detailing just a little bit, not a whole heck of a lot, which I'm a-okay with. I don't want to uber detail this area. And then moving down into the port, they did get some rail infrastructure. I changed how the rail line comes into town. So there's quite a few different little tracks that kind of come off from here, and a bit of a grade to get out of town. And it's going to sit on a siding before it rejoins the main line. I also replaced the airport, moving the terminal from this little triangular section into kind of its own area up over here. I also figured it'd just give me more room to make a proper terminal for what turboprops are coming in here, because that's realistically what's going to be showing up here is turboprops. The runway, I think, is about 6,000 feet in length. 5,000. 5,000 foot runway. So realistically, you can get. I don't want to click on settings. You can get a lot of the turboprops in here, no problem. Back to metric. And even this secondary runway is longer than it used to be, I believe. I think it used to end right about here. It was a very short runway. I changed the heading of the runways just a little bit because this runway used to sit here, and it gave us a very weird trajectory, kind of almost facing towards that cliff. So now we kind of get a nice approach out over the water, which I can appreciate a lot more. And then this approach is still very unobstructed. Got some hills in the way, but realistically all runways can be used without many obstruction here, which is, I appreciate. But that's really most of what I've been doing over here in Hasvik. I mean, this has been a bulk of my work here, because as soon as I got done with Trondheim, I said, I'm redoing Hasvik. I'm getting these areas kind of plopped back in and figured out, because I want these areas back. This was an area that was very important to me. So, got it back in. Got some of the basic road network set up for the area beyond, like this neighborhood back here, which I'm not sure is if this road will probably head towards the airport. Either that, or I might have a road that comes up from over here to the field. I think it'd probably be better to do it that way off of the C-17. And then I got this road back here reset up for this kind of neighborhood or residential area in behind the airport. So that's really what's been going on over here. Next, I drug the highway out, I think just one side of the highway, from the bridge, which if we take a look, I think I did get both sides of the highway for a minute. Yeah, so this is, I took one side of the highway and just basically drug it all the way out. Trying to see, like, where does it go from here? How does the train behave with it, or how does it behave with the train? And was kind of just planning, like, how is this road going to kind of traverse through a very rural region? And it just kind of moves along. Nice gentle curves out here. Speed limit will probably be rather high. just passes along, and ends right about here, which is getting us close to what will be the next town. Which there's quite a bit of a conundrum coming up, because there should be. Let me see. I think it's over here. And I didn't realize how much the terrain kind of. Oh yeah, it's right over here. So the highway's coming along, and I'm thinking all this area is flat, and there's this kind of just random mountain, and the area gets really hilly and terrainy right about here, and I have to figure out how to get the highway and the rail line through here. And it looks like the highway might be climbing up and around the backside, but then there's these like really big drop-offs, and I'm like, that's gonna be a huge ass grade. We could probably get the highway to snake along here, but the rail line, I'm like, where's the rail line gonna go? They have to sit down here by the coast and what will be a town, but this is some very wonky terrain. Like, the rail line's gonna have to come along through here, otherwise it's gonna be a massive grade. But just a random mountain right back here. I think it was a volcano, probably, or more than likely anyhow. But just really random. And then I think from there forward, it's pretty much smooth. What the hell's over here? Huh. Interesting. Is there like objects? No, just random pieces of rail. Intriguing. Yeah, so been doing a lot of just planning and just kind of setting up for the next bit, and whatever I get to do. But a bulk of what I've been doing over the last day or two is down here. Now, this is the border, this river here, between the former Nordic colony and the former French colony. Obviously the Kaldvann colony and the Castine Colony. Up here is going to be the town of, I think it's, oh god, here comes my French, Frontier de Noman, I believe it is. I forget. I don't speak French, so the highway relatively will pass over here, and there will be a kind of a collection of flags symbolizing the excuse me, big stretch, the ethnic borders between the two colonies and such as the highway passes over this former border. But moving down over here, you can see I got a collection of things over here. I think this is Baie de Beauport, or I think this is Beauport Bay, basically. It's one of the French colony's biggest attempts into kind of capitalizing in the fishing industries that were up here for basically since settling the island in 1780. Through the 1800s, this was prime fishing grounds for all the small villages that dot the southern Kaldvannian coast. And the French colonies, predominantly existed over here in this little bay right here. Castine sits at the bottom. There's Loudon, which will sit over here, and Saint Xavier, which sits, I think, halfway between the two, for notable communities. But they didn't, they predominantly fished in the southern regions. They didn't really push off into these waters here, the Western Gulf as it's known, by residents out here in the Labrador Sea. So they expanded north, built a small village at this big kind of natural bay, excuse me, and really did a lot of their fishing. But the only issue is the national border runs along this river. Like I stated, the southern banks belong to the French, and the northern banks belong to the Norwegians. So most of this bay and the coast sat along French control. This tip right here sat along Norwegian control. The two sides were very respectable toward each other in the beginning, but a series of small issues between the French and the British led to the British mistaking a small fort and lighthouse situated along this northern peninsula as a French installation, and fired upon it, breaking it and destroying it, killing a few people, which almost led to a large-scale conflict between the Nordic Danes and the British. But I guess silver tongues were able to prevail, calmer minds. But point being is that this bay has been a source of contention, because it realistically was to compete with the Norwegians and kind of capitalize on their rich fishing grounds. So this bay has a very, very interesting history. I think it was during the British-Acadian War of, I think it was 1811, was it? Or somewhere around that ballpark. The British had a large-scale invasion and siege of this port, which then forced the French to flee up to Frontier de Normand and kind of hold along the border, because the British were very keen on not going to war with the Nordic Danes. But so the French were capitalizing on that, thinking we can just run across the border and stuff. But there's a very, very rich history with this area that I'm typing up currently and whatnot. But the big thing is for railroading purposes, we have this large rail yard and kind of port infrastructure here for the area. And I'll kind of get to this port's prominence here in a minute, because this is actually a really incredibly important port for the country itself. So been kind of working on this area, trying to get some track work done up and trying to get something designed, more or less. We have a small container port here, just kind of small infrastructure, as well as this line over here that snakes off. Might be a few industries settled along this. Be a kind of a town somewhere out here. But we crossed the river, which I have forgotten to name, and come over here to the Nordic side, where there's iron ore import, an oil port more or less. A lot of larger bulked goods will be on this side of the harbor. Trying to slowly figure out how to make something look presentable to load iron ore, more or less, because I've never really dabbled with iron ore. So, be a coal dock, iron ore, so a lot of just larger bulk goods will come in through this port. Be a couple of ports where items like that will come in. There was this, I think, 1 or 2 steel mills in the country. There is some iron ore mining, but there is other means of importing iron ore from other places in the world, particularly North America. Canadian mines are very, very rich nearby in Labrador. So, but the big thing, why this port is so important, I was building a small regional oil terminal, and then I have like a bigger oil intake for some of the larger tanker ships from elsewhere. But one of the biggest reasons why this port exists is right here. I built a car float. So approximately from this location, it sits about 55 miles from Emily's Harbor, Newfoundland, Labrador. So 55 miles sailing at about 8 knots will take roughly, I think, about 4 hours and 54 minutes for a vessel to sail that length. So it's a pretty decent trip. This barge, if carrying exclusively 50-foot boxcars, can carry up to 54 cars at once. So that's a pretty decent number of cars to carry over to Canadian Pacific's link over in Emily's Harbor. I believe during the late 1940s, early 1950s, Canadian Pacific built an extension from their iron ore trackage out towards Emily's Harbor to link up with the nation of Kaldvann to help out with imports and exports. As prior to World War II, the country's only really means of getting product in and out was only via ship, and those ships, takes a long time. So Canadian Pacific was like, well, let's build a car float. They can do it up in Alaska, we can do it here. I don't know if that was exactly, you know, what they thought, because I don't know when that was started, but, you know, that's my theory. You know, if they can have a large car float up in Alaska, well, we can have one here. So, um, Canadian Pacific received the request, fulfilled it, and, well, now there's a giant car float that stretches from Beauport to Emily's Harbor in, I think it's Labrador at that point. But, so this port is incredibly important, because this is where a lot of the rail cars coming from North America will come to. There's, I think, one or two more ports of call where these barges will sail to. They are operated by a sub-corporation that is owned by Canadian Pacific. And this is actually a Canadian Pacific harbor. I didn't feel like creating another BS railroad, trying to drum up what the hell it would do. Not having anything to paint for it, so I just said, you know what, screw it. I'm just saying Canadian Pacific owns and operates this area. This is what, you know, they're just sending some old units that they don't particularly care about. You know, we'd be hard-pressed to see AC-44s. We'd be hard-pressed to really see anything like that over here. You know, I don't really think we're going to see any SD-70s. Not quite sure if there will be any large motive power over here that will take cars towards, you know, Helheim or Castine. But predominantly there's some older units here that have that were being retired. They sent off on the barge, put them over here. Particularly SD-10s. There's some Jeep 40s. I was thinking RS-18, just some power, just some Canadian Pacific power. But realistically, probably some SD-40s, and a couple SD-10s, and then Jeep 40s, Jeep 38s, stuff like that. That would be operating over here. Love some SWs, but I don't believe there's any Canadian Pacific SWs, at least that I am aware of. But that's probably what's going to be over here, and I'm quite okay with that. I know it's not incredibly realistic. It doesn't really bother me at this point. Like, I'm happy with it, so. But we're going to be working on this port area today, kind of getting this area a little more planned out, a little more figured out, putting in some new buildings. I got a couple oil tanks here, which more or less is a fuel terminal. I believe this will be a import terminal for Shell. So this will be a Shell terminal. So I need to actually kind of put the ability to load cars over here. But I've been fairly happy with how things have been working out here. You know, it's not terribly often that I get to work in Kaldvann like this. You know, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, when was the last time I actually like built something like this in Kaldvann? You know, when was the last time I really worked on something in one of the other areas that isn't Trondheim? And I thought to myself, I'm like, you know, prior to the crash, you know, prior to losing all that progress, was realistically the last time I worked on something like this. You know, and I was like, damn, it's kind of sad. You know, that's kind of sad that was the last time I worked on something. So, you know, it's been a while. I wish these actually hooked up to the track. Because I realized it doesn't. So I guess we're going to stick with the YR gates. Definitely needs to be some barbed wire in here, because We have a oil facility. We'd like to protect that facility. Where is it? Why is he siding gate? I wonder if he has more of these. Nope. Just want to double check. Yep. Ah, that's unfortunate. I always prefer this. It just doesn't have any barbed wire. So I guess I'm not going to use that. So yeah, we'll just stick with the barbed wire. Like I said, it's a important facility. I want to make sure that it has the appropriate protection it needs. So I can only stream until about 2 o'clock, so about another hour, 15 minutes or so. Because I have to get some stuff done today. I'd like to maybe get a little bit of lunch before I head up. Gotta pay some bills. Gotta go up north to pay my car. It's very strange. Now what I will do is put a derail in here with an invisible track. Let's see, derail. Well, I'd like a flag at least. Okay. Oh, let's see, derail. Wish I had a little flag. Can I not have one with a flag? There we go. So I have a little derail, so the cars won't activate that gate to open up. Particularly like that curve there. sure about this whole facility curve. We're gonna redo this. Facility making is not my forte sometimes. So I guess we'll just kind of take this curve and smooth it out just a little bit. There, much better. Alright, so now I need some tanks down, some loading areas, a small support building. I guess more or less the pump house. So let's get some let's see, liquid loader. That's the building I like. Let me see. Tank. There's an asset I'm looking for. If my voice could just stick with me for like half the day, I'd just kind of appreciate that at this point. Oh yes, they're not gonna lie, tanks with piping. It's around here somewhere. Was it sap? No. Half a route building. Always trying to figure out what an asset was. Oh, this might be it here. Yeah, that's it there. What's the difference between these two? Ah, no stairs. So I need to put this in the middle. So I'll widen one of those tracks real quick. Like I said, these tank cars are hauling already refined gasoline and perhaps diesel as well. They're hauling for Shell, so no stairs. This was turned 199.8. I think I just had it too. There we go. So there, I can load about 4 tank cars per. We'll move this over. There. Now, like I said, I don't really know if they line up, so we're just gonna double check it real quick. Get some of them funnel flows out here. they do for them? They don't. Dave Snow, why? Oh. I mean, was it meant for smaller tank cars? I'm not particularly sure here. Yeah, there's just this unfortunate mess of that doesn't particularly line up. Very strange, very odd. Oh, Dave Snow, you mean well. Just out of curiosity. I think he meant them more. No, he didn't. At least in these two, I think he meant them more for those kinds of tank cars, but that sucks. So I guess the only thing we can do, like the pipe matches up and everything, and ugh, I hate it. All right, because it's gonna bug me otherwise. Could just do these. Points here, so I guess we're gonna do that instead. So I'm gonna plop back in those funnels. It's gonna be about 4 track, and I'm just gonna line them up manually because my OCD will be bothered otherwise. Do. Cool. Not sure if you want that to come down between the gap or not. You probably do. Alright, so we got that all figured out. Now we'll plop in another set of tank cars over here so we can do the exact same thing. I'm not going to assume it's a very large area behind here. There's enough area to fit the width of a man or a woman. A human. Ah, yes, this is looking rather nice. Two more, and that'll at least give us the notion of there's an oil port here, or a filling facility. And rotata. There. Alright, so now... That hurt. Ouch. To figure out the supporting facilities and such, so... wonder if it'd be worth, like, giving a roof over this. Just to kind of protect the facility a little bit from the outside elements. It's a little big, though. You know, it's a little big. I'd probably trap all those fumes under there. Let's see what they got for generic items here. They got a generic shop. Yeah, I think just generic buildings would work well here. Pump situated over here. Now I just need one more kind of larger parking lot. Really. Let's see. I know what I'm looking for, I just can't find the building. Let's just try turning around real quick. Actually, wait. That's probably more what I think I was looking for. So I will stick with it. Now I just have this curious problem of fitting it respectfully. And that will be respectful. So what I'll believe is happening here, I'm actually going to put this off the side of the track, just on the off chance a train goes through it. I don't want them hitting the actual stuff, but I remember we had more or less when I worked at the airport and I'd fuel aircraft, we had more or less a small building nearby that would keep an eye on all the pumps, would keep an eye on all the levels, would keep an eye on all the stuff. It was interesting to go in there at the end of the night to refill the trucks, and because you had an avgas truck and you had a jet fuel truck, and then we had 2 jet fuel trucks actually, and we shared the jet farm with the commercial side as well. So all of our commercial refuel trucks would go over and pull off the same tanks. But the thing was, you didn't want a tank to get too low, so you tried to pull from, you'd get a tank down about, I forget what level we get it down to be perfectly honest with you. But after a certain point, we'd sit there and go, okay, we got to start pulling from the next tank or whatever. So we'd have to go in, and it was like a little maze and stuff like that of just all the different pipes with all the different levers, and you'd go, okay, I need to pull off tank 4. So you'd basically go up to tank 4, or you close up whatever tank you're on. So let's just say you're on tank 1, so you go ahead and close up all the levers for the tank, and then it was just like this mass amount of levers, because they cross feed into the same pipes and stuff. It was just a maze of stuff. It was very interesting. But so you'd have to follow each lever back, and sometimes it was a crapshoot. Sometimes, it was like, okay, that didn't work, crap. So you had to like go back and relook at all your levers, and just it was fun. But we did have big areas like this behind here, with the pumps and such. They were all exposed. You had your pump kind of, this is more or less the meter and such, but this is probably also a secondary control room to actually pull from separate tanks. So we got 2 big tanks here and such. Probably gonna put a 3rd tank somewhere. I wonder if I can fit a smaller tank, because these are gasoline. But I assume we'd also need like one for diesel. I wonder if I can fit a 3rd tank. I can. Okay. I wonder if we can get a shell sign. Actually, I think I know what I can do. There. going to use this old shell sign for the actual terminal itself, for the entrance. Oof. Well. Figured I'd have more tanks and stuff like that. Kind of sad I don't. But yeah, I'll use this old sign. Probably put it out by the road, more or less. Well, there's an entrance that's going to be over here. Might be a little too tight for semis. I was thinking probably put like a storage facility and like some smaller warehouses. The actual like semi area will probably be like right back here for filling some of the trucks, which I know we have a port asset for filling the trucks. I gotta find it real quick though. Ooh. Oh, it's mobile too, shit. Oh, that'd be nice. Damn it. Actually, I want to put that back. That's a nice asset. I didn't know I had that. Hold on. I think it's under oil. I know it's not. Dock oil tanks. Yeah, this is always a good asset. I'm gonna put that back there, because I'll use it on the other side. Like I said, this is just a big part of... Oh, come on. Like, I know what I'm looking for. I just don't know the name. I want to say it's a Dave Snow asset, so let me just do that. Dave Snow. He was always very good about leaving everything DES. Build a facility. Burger joint sign. Camping, cannabis, Crown Vic, Car Quest, Caterpillar. City Block. City Taya. Container, Convenience, Cotton, Co-op, Creamery, Dairy, Dave's, DD, Dead Fallen, Dead Standing, Delivery, Derelict, DES, Diesel Holding Tanks. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Add it to the list. Ditch. Ah, here we are. So it's supposed to be this... Nope. It's supposed to be this structure right here for loading tank trucks. Okay. Tank car loading, yep. There it is. Say, I knew it was nearby, so we'll use this for the the semis. We'll put that kind of... So we'll have an entrance, and then they'll just exit over here. I do want to just look at that dock asset one more time. Just kind of see, like, you know, what's going on here. So there's a big building like this. That's kind of what I was going for, because I figured, like, you know, this is probably the big meter room and such. I wish I could just pull that right off. Yeah, we're definitely going to use that on the other side, because that's going to make my life a hell of a lot easier. So yeah, I'll use that over here. I'll figure out how I'm going to do that, but anyhow. So we'll come back over here. Let me grab another one. Let me go storage. Just I get some ideas. So I would like to have about 2 of these. Let me see, pipes. No, I'll stick with what I got for now. There, I think that'll suffice for now. Ugh, ouch. Let me also go roof detail. I think it's AMRD. Wouldn't mind putting like a cell tower up there. Not quite what I was imagining. HVAC skylight vent. Cell tower. Oh, that's horrific. That is a skosh closer to what I was thinking. Not quite. So what we'll do is we'll grab this. I might just put it on its own somewhere. I do like the smaller one, that's nice. Anyways, we're just kind of leaving assets because I have ideas and they flow, as you all know. Alright, so we're going to put this shell sign over here. Older advertisement they never got rid of. So I will probably make a terminal sign at some point, which will signal, you know, the bow port. Now I have been using a fence. I think I used it over. Yep, I did use it over here. I'd like to use this fence again. I found it from Ethan last night. He's always a great source of finding assets that I need or would like. Very weird parcel of land that this will be. I don't know, would they curb their fence? I suppose they could. Yeah, they could. And they just did, so... just trying to think about trucks making their wide turns to get out of here, keeping this area a little bit wider. Obviously, we need some security measures. My God, coming into this facility. So we'll probably do is make an entrance that kind of swings off this way. So I'm actually going to get rid of that fence and make this parcel bigger. Probably some smaller buildings here. Sit just out front of it. And this fence will probably just swing all the way up over the guard shack. Alright, let's see here. So guard. I'm sorry, security. So we'll put it probably right about here. This was still by far one of the worst jobs I did, being security. Like, nothing but regrets. Nothing other than regrets. Oh, I hated that job so much. Just kind of looking to see how this all matched up to a trailer. So you could have like 1 or 2 trucks sitting here at a time. Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah, no, I hated that security job. Ugh. Like, there's a company down here in Portland, I really don't know their name, but they've been kind of trying to get me to come do some security for them for events at Thompson's Point this summer. And, like, the idea sounds fine. Most of it's just parking. Like, it's realistically all it would really be is just kind of helping out with parking and such. And I've thought about it. I'm like, you know, parking wouldn't be too bad, I guess. You know, it is what it is, but I'm also like, do I really want to do that again? That's my big thing, is like, do I really want to do that again? Because, like, I already did the whole security shtick, and, you know, I'm not gonna lie, it just sucked. Like I said, it's one of the few jobs where I actually have regrets. Oh, my sister just tried calling. Kind of had forgotten I had called her. Alright, so there's that. We'll... just letting my sister know I'm not dead. Also, it's my brother-in-law's birthday, so I should probably give him a call here shortly. I should probably be giving him a call here in the next 30 minutes, because we are quickly approaching the top of the hour. Also just like to see what other, those like some smaller buildings. Yes. What these buildings actually do, I won't really know, but just gives some visual clutter to the area. So this way, okay. I'm gonna grab that curb, I believe it is. It's over here. Kind of use this to help kind of mark the area. Why? Can we just not be buried, please? Thank you. You know, you piss me off. Ah, it's lower down here than it is over there. For some unknown reason. Ah, yes, would you look at that? The road has been covered by road. Well, would you look at that? Alrighty. So like I said, we're gonna mark the curb area. And this one will need a wide berth for trucks swinging to the left. entrance to this facility. Allow the trucks to swing in the best they can. And get in line to enter the terminal. And yeah, they would probably just come in, swing. So it'll probably just be maybe some trees, I don't know. What should be right here. Because I really don't want to add anything else to this facility. Like, you know, I got the support buildings, I got the main building, I got the truck loading area. Like, it's everything I think this area needs. Maybe folks should get operational. Oh, and the exit. Just need the exit. That's all we need. Just to keep this facility nice and secure. There. I suppose we don't need the fencing all the way up and over. Can I help you? Alright, now what's going to go over here in these lots? I think we can fit like maybe 1 or 2 buildings in here. Nothing huge, but definitely 1 or 2 smaller buildings down in here would be probably worth my time. Oh. Hi, J-Class. Didn't see you were back. Sorry, I wasn't watching the chat. I figured I had no one watching. So I didn't actually pull up the chat on my phone. That's the only thing I'm doing wrong today, I suppose. Besides not driving north to go pay on my car, but, you know. Keep an eye on that real right quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this building back some to allow our larger area for cars to kind of come and go. Because we have this branch line sweeping down, and I'm going to need to put another fence along it. Because, you know, national security, fairly important, fairly important. gate is backwards. Awesome. Oh, no, it's not. We're just gonna say that's a new installation. Those JMR gates just don't... They're really, really nice. They just... I don't know how they're gonna work exactly. So that's fairly large size property. Which does make for some weird parcels kind of along back through here, so... I suppose I could probably make this come back a little further. Yeah, we'll do it that way. So we'll drag you up more. There we go. And then we'll deconnect those two. Boom. Suddenly we have more room for more things to be done. Alright, so what should go over here? Like I said, probably, I would probably assume a small office of some kind, a couple floors, one or two, three floors. Wouldn't be a bad idea. A small warehouse also wouldn't be a bad idea either. So let's look real quick at office structures. As my time is quickly ticking by. I suppose this wouldn't be a bad structure to kind of put somewhere, showing that the port may have seen better days. Let me see. Potash facility offices. No, I'm good. Police office. No, that is very, very blue. Don't want to use those brick ones. It's nice. The building just seems very odd. I think it's a nice structure. Just I don't know. Oh, I do like this building. I will be hanging on to that. Throw it in the pile. Let me see. The old post office. Yes. I could probably take one of these and, like, just move it down. That's what I do most of the time with these buildings anyhow. Shrink them. So I think, yeah, we're going to put it maybe here. Then we're just gonna move it down. Actually, I just want to see the bottom real quick. So the bottom has realistically nothing to it. Oh, crap. Okay, so about the entire level, so there. Now we have a 2-floor office building. Of course, we'll give it an entrance. The bricks don't match, that's awesome. But those do. Building sits at 320.7. There, small facility, nothing major. It fills a need, that's about it. A Planet's parking lot out after. Oh, big stretch, there we go. Now we could probably fit something small in here. A small warehouse of some kind or something. Let me see. Storage. Well, that is a small warehouse. Let me actually look up just SAP at this point. Industrial storage. Yes, let's throw in a McDonald's. A little big there. Oh, that is painful. just be for sale. Gives some opportunity to do some kind of abandoned aspects of the port, or parts of the port that didn't do too well. Yeah, because not everywhere's gonna make it. Not everywhere's gonna do well and such. So, I mean, there's already a lot going on around here. There's a vacant lot there, business here. You know, not all businesses are gonna do well. Actually, so that's on their parcel. We're going to move this sign over here. Since that technically probably sits on the parcel for the Shell oil terminal. So just thinking about properties and such and all that's out here. You can kind of get an idea of the properties that exist here. So there could be a small road that stems off this way that would support maybe a couple of smaller buildings. I just realized there is no way to get back here, so that's awesome. So there would probably be a road that goes here, or either goes off this way to come around. So there could be one building here, which I will probably put that in right now. Wonky. Actually, I want to use the other road that I had. Let me go grab that. I gotta go up to Hasvik to get it. I went the wrong way because I'm looking south, not north. So I'm just gonna keep kind of working on this area till I get bored. Eventually I'm going to kind of move on to doing something else, because like I said, I'm kind of at a creative block with Trondheim. There's not really anywhere I can get with that. So I'm just trying to create other areas that over time I can slowly start kind of merging together, or at least giving me an understanding of, you know, hey, what's going on around here? Because that's always a big thing, is trying to figure out, you know, what's happening at this place and what's happening at that place. And all right, so what level are we sitting at here? This is 1317, so we're going to come down to 1316. Oh, no, we're not. I lied to myself. Amalaya. That's right. That's why I said this area is going to be interesting, because we're right on the point where it comes down. So what we're going to do is going to cha-cha real smooth right on over to here. And I'm going to scrap dabble that right over here. Oh, look at that. You know how beautiful this is, that it all worked out in my favor? Just amazing. Just truly and genuinely amazing. There we go. Now we'll curve U back on up over this way. Bit of a hard corner, but necessary evil. Cross up and over the tracks, and then will do is I think I can sneak a couple industries back in here, or a couple businesses. So we'll give them the opportunity to have a bit of a road. So I'll probably put like one here and one right up back here. Nothing huge. Ugh, ow. Yep, that hurt. So this is going to be a lumber track. I think this is like some sort of like lumber distributor of some kind. I forget what I was doing with this track over here. On the back side of them. Drawing a blank. I should have like jotted it all down. Like, oh yeah, this is what this track does. This track does that. Da 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 da. I could probably put one more line of containers in here because it's just a very awkward space. I'll probably make it a 3x3 stack. Because I also think about like support equipment coming through here and maneuvering. Kind of something that I see like people kind of forget sometimes, is that, you know, you're gonna have those mobile cranes kind of rolling along back through here. And you're gonna want to give them space. You're gonna need to give them space so they can get done what they need to get done, and if they don't have space to maneuver, well, good times not had by all, you know. It's not much, but I suppose it's honest. There we go. It's a very strange area, but it's kind of what we have to work with. Yeah, I suppose I could go a little longer. Excuse me. Just do have to get to the bank today, because otherwise I won't be able to do that for another week, and I don't want them to be calling me. Let me see. I guess I'll plop in here. Could have swore I had more, like there was another building to this asset. Because it's an SAP Storage Warehouse 1. And like suddenly I can't find the second structure. I just want to see if I can't find it, because like I know like it was like two. One had an office. Oh, how was I spell storage correctly? There we go. I could have swear there was something. It's just weird. very weird. Actually, no clue. But anyhow, so let me see here. Actually, probably want these on the inside. I have to keep tampering to a minimal. Alright, so we got our rider, we got another small warehouse here. Probably throw some containers in the back. Get this larger steel kind of fabrication facility. Got a small cold storage warehouse. Got this facility, which I'm not entirely sure what they'll do here. Maybe put some extra storage in the back. Maybe they make rope. I don't know what they do here. I really don't. But maybe I'll give them like a small storage facility out back here. Office, warehouse of some kind that's gone, shelves, oil. Ideally just self-storage in here. I think we just can cross the tracks at this point. Ah, yes, and by the way, everything is in French, at least in terms of street names. Let the Frenchisms roll. Now this is more of a busy line, given that it's going to the other port, so I am going to put some automatic gates along here. Just some basic signals with just a bell, no gates. Alrighty, let's lift this up. I actually kind of just wanted to manually control you. There we go. get us up and over. Actually, so what we'll do is we're gonna put you a little further away. Alright, so we got other facilities here. Which I do intend to use because, you know, some nicer buildings. So I have to curve this road because it's heading towards here and it's got to stay out of the rail yard. Also, do need to put another side of the rail yard, kind of finish this facility, which I'll probably do a little bit later. Actually, in true French fashion, let's do something like this. Gonna get you out of here. Actually, I don't really need you anymore because we have something different. What I'll do is, so that's gonna come over here. So we're going to have a road that does road things. It's going to road around a little bit. So we're going to have a road that kind of comes up back here for no particular reason whatsoever to a dead end. We're going to pull it down some. And it's going to make this curve. To kind of keep doing what it was already doing. But for no particular reason, it just does this. I don't know, I've seen some very weird layout designs in like industrial parks and whatnot, and kind of makes you wonder, like, what were they doing with the roads? What were the roads doing? So yeah, the road's just going to kind of turn to the left. So the industrial park won't go on forever. I don't want this massive area. You know, it is going to kind of slowly fade off. I do think there should be a town somewhere near here. You know, because this more or less is mostly what the town of Beauport is. Now, the two things I can do is situate that town kind of over here, just south of the rail yard. Kind of keep it towards this kind of beach area with lake, I guess. Or I could situate it kind of along this inlet here. You know, I could put it somewhere along here. So, I mean, the town could kind of be up over here with some residential and stuff like that. And I don't want it to be a huge town, but a town nevertheless. You know, there will be a couple of stores, a shopping district more or less. That we kind of sit between Beauport and Laurent. Of course, we do have this kind of nice hotel back here, which is on top of this hill, which I need to kind of flatten out, make it look normal, because right now it's just kind of precariously dangling. It's a magical hotel, really. If you're sleeping on this side of the hotel, good luck. Good luck is all I'm gonna say. But yeah, so there will become some kind of town somewhere along here, which I kind of maybe want to plan that out just a little bit right now. So just kind of thinking, so this side of the rail yard's more or less for the car float. Name the switches. So this is outbound 1, 2, and 3, inbound 1, 2, and 3. Not really any switching that needs to go along through this. Most of this is all inbound traffic anyhow. Because anything coming to port probably isn't going to be getting switched out here at the port. So anything that wants to be exported here at this port is probably going to have it put onto a container, put onto a boat, shipped somewhere else. This is mostly for the other parts of the island and such. And yes, they can use container, but this is also to be competitive. So, but the local side of the yard for, you know, the iron ore industry and the iron ore intake and the oil intake, you know, that's all going to be situated over here. So I believe that side of the yard's going to be a little bit bigger, and then be an engine facility kind of back here. So I need to get that kind of figured out and such. But the town itself, not EMT, it's shit. I think it's T something. TK. That's what it is. I think that's what I was looking for. No, I wasn't. Because I'm a liar. What was I looking for then? Not HP. Not EMT. Back to Hasvik. It's these buildings back here. Yeah, DK. It's a different name. I see. So maybe some smaller buildings like this kind of out by the rail yard. Kind of some lower income housing, more or less. Maybe not particularly. It's big. Yeah, something like that would be more than fine out here. I do like that. These are a little bit bigger. That's a little more straightforward, and we can fit more of them in. trying to work out exactly how the apartments work. Is it like one apartment, like... Because you have the side of the building here, which I'm assuming is just one apartment. So 1, 2, 3. It's pretty big. So then would you have apartment? So taking up these 2 windows. And then apartment. So what's in the middle? Is it like a hallway or something? Because either the stairs... Yeah, you can just kind of make out the stairs from here. So, like... I'm getting too much into it. I'm getting into too much of it. Oh, okay. So this middle window can go basically fuck itself. So apartment, 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 apartment. So wall. But how do you explain the stairs? Ah, this building makes no sense. That's okay, we're gonna put it in anyways. So they'll kind of live down here on this little peninsula, this little point. Oh, and they can give it some cute fancy name and it'll just be... just so perfect. And all the buildings will be identical. Like we'll put a little playground can go there. Parents have to watch their kids like a frickin' hawk. Actually going to rotate that back, try to keep a little bit more of a straighter design. That'd be perfect, but it doesn't have to be that either. So I will be wrapping it up here in a moment, just because I probably should get ready to go up to go pay on my car. It is important, unfortunately. You know what? That'll be fine. So this will be the little entrance to the community. And they can have parking on either side. Little green space in the middle will be just fine. Be a park kind of at the end. And the green space will kind of end here. Then there'll be kind of a road that leads in. Kind of buildings off to the side. This building... that's fine. Yeah, and they'll have a nice green area in the back to kind of go do whatever. I mean, honestly, for what is dubbed low-income housing. I mean, yes, you are near a port. But, like, honestly, having this little marsh area in the back wouldn't be such a bad thing. Like, yeah, it kind of goes away at low tide, because I think the tide drops about 2 meters. So once it drains out, you basically have this river. And you have, like, the muddy wetlands and stuff, but... Which I did spend a lot of work kind of working on the under part of this bay area. You know, there's going to be these shallow points that the boats really can't go into, which I'm going to have to work on the barge, because I guess what they're going to do is back up, and a tug's going to basically help them navigate over to here. One thing I'm not particularly thinking about is how is this going to work during high and low tide. We'll wait and see. Again, too much thought for today. Yeah, you can see how much the area rises and falls. If I can get it, there we go. Oh, ran out of music. But like, water, not a lot of water. Water, not a lot of water. Like, you can see how drastic it is. I think it's fun. Yeah, little things like that amuse me and kind of make it a little more realistic in my opinion. But yeah, so before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and plop in just the roads on either side to give me the base concept of how it's going to work over here. And kind of how I did it up in Hasvik. That's kind of how I'm going to do it here. Which I think you guys saw earlier. It's that little residential area behind the school. And so I'll put a street over here. Street that kind of comes this way. And of course a street over here. And then just for the aesthetics, we'll put this one in right here. And wherever it goes from here, I don't know. I'm just going to drag it out for now. And so I imagine there'll be kind of some smaller residential single family dwellings in maybe through here. As it kind of leads out towards this road, there could be another secondary main road here. Of course, this can link up to the industrial. But you know what, we'll just do that now. Just draw it out for what I'm thinking. See, it wasn't really much my intention to have a town like right here, but but there it is. So I won't have so many parallel roads. Maybe have some trees just back here separating the rail yard from residential. Because once all that slack kicks out on the rail cars, like, kind of sucks. I work behind Rigby in South Portland, and there are times at night where I'm sitting there, you know, doing my paperwork, and you can just hear it. The first car kick out, then just rumbles that building. It's kind of cool, but if you're not expecting it, and it's like really, really quiet, it gets you. So, but for 2 hours worth of work, I know we didn't really get done. It's just a lot of planning at this point. So, but I am going to go. I got to get some stuff done today. But I will check in with you all a little bit later. I'm possibly doing a NASCAR stream. So we will talk with you then. So thank you for watching. Take care.